Hello planty friends, it's been about 2 weeks since that first section was filmed, but please grab a drink with me. I have a lavender lemon iced tea because I'm ready to talk more Hoyas. Let's go. We are now in my living room, and to my right here I have my buffet table that has absolutely no Hoyas on it because it's a little bit too far away from the light, and then I start to have a little nook right here with some Sansevierias, a philodendron. And right here, this window is eastern facing, with the one behind me being southern facing. And then I do have a window right here, two over there, as well as some windows in my front door that are west facing. So these plants over here do get quite a bit of light and pretty much all day. So this first one we're going to start out with is in front of the eastern window right below here, and it is my Hoya pubicalyx. I believe I've shown this plant a couple of times, or probably many times. It is one of my fastest growing Hoyas. It won me another plant. I entered its picture in a contest when it was much smaller than this, and it won me a Sansevieria black coral, which I still have. Yeah, this Hoya pubicalyx is it's just awesome to own. It is such an easy grower. It's not fussy really at all. I haven't really had too many problems with it. I purchased this Hoya from a local plant shop to me, which sadly closed down, but I purchased it in May of 2020 when it was a lot smaller than this, and I am not sure which specific kind of Hoya pubicalyx this is, but whatever it is, it's beautiful. I just love how splashy the leaves are, and yeah, poking myself. It's great to have. Okay, I have back here I have Groot in there. Groot just fell over, so I had to fix him. The next Hoya actually lives on the windowsill of this window right here. Let me go get it. And it is my Hoya lacunosa, which has blooms, new blooms, old blooms. Yeah, so this one is a dried out bloom there. This one hasn't opened yet, but it will, I think, soon, hopefully. But this one I don't think I can show you too well. Oh my gosh, I think I saw a fungus gnat. Gross. 'Tis the season though. It's open. Look at that. Oh. So this is the second time that this Hoya has bloomed for me. This spot actually, around this spot where the dried off one was, where it bloomed last time. And it does also have another spot right here, but most of those did dry out. However, there is more over here. I'm so shaky. Oh yeah, my cat's doing something. But yeah, there is more growing over here, so it's just super exciting. My sense of smell is not the best since I had COVID, but this one I can smell like floral. It smells like a flower, but I can't get any more specific than that, unfortunately. My husband also says it smells like a flower, so there's that. But I had a lot of trouble finding a Hoya lacunosa locally for a really long time. This one is only about a year or two, a year old. I would think I did pick it up locally because I finally found it locally. Before that, I did try to ship it in from a domestic seller, and both times, I only tried twice, both times it just did not go well. They don't ship well, is what I learned from the worker at the shop that I ended up finding this at. They told me that, yeah, they take a lot of time to rehab when they get them, and it's just kind of difficult. So I consider myself very lucky that I was able to find one local to me, because like I said, for the longest time I could not. And it's just a really cute plant, and it's happy, And it's easy because this is in soil and it's in a tiny pot, so it does dry out quite a bit, but it just forgives me every time for not watering it as much as I should. And I love that it's in a cute little teapot that I thrifted. This next Hoya lives on this shelf over here. You can actually just barely see it right here. This is my Hoya krohniana silver. This plant I purchased in June of 2021 from Plant the Studio, and it was a companion with my Hoya Rebecca. So excitingly, this one is also blooming. It looks so similar, these blooms, to the lacunosa blooms that I just showed. No, so these blooms I cannot smell at all. My husband says they smell like a flower, very similar to the Hoya lacunosa, so that's really exciting. So that makes me wonder, like, is this a Hoya krohniana silver? I don't know much about blooms, but I know that depending on the bloom, it can help identify which Hoya that you have. So I don't know, but I wish I could smell it. That's a bummer for me, but I will still appreciate its beauty. And funny enough, that Hoya Rebecca that was in the same shipment with this one is also blooming, and I discovered it while I was filming in my kitchen. So that one hasn't bloomed yet. It's still in the very like juvenile stages of blooming, but this one has. I do not see like any other points where it might bloom, but I'll take the one that it's giving me. But I love so much the coloration of these leaves. They are very like silvery gray color. I hope the camera is picking that up. And it has grown so wonderfully for me. It does like a lot of light, and it does live in leca, and I find it to be quite thirsty. So leca is the way to go with this one. You can see it's kind of bald, but it just, I love Hoya. What can I say? I love Hoya, and this is why. Like, there are so many types of Hoya. They all look different. A lot of them, at least the ones that I have, very similar care needs. Some are a lot thirstier than others, but I wouldn't say it's like totally different across them all. So it's just a species that I really enjoy growing. And look at it. It's beautiful. Thank you for blooming for me. Just thank you. I feel honored. Ugh. Although this one also has mealybugs, because of course it does. I thought I got rid of them, but I do see a couple. So I will be spraying this down. I don't know if I want to though, since it is blooming. Like, that's probably gonna hurt the blooms, right? I just can't stop staring at them. They're so pretty. They look so fuzzy, and I want to touch them, but I don't. No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna touch it. Cool. Next up is the very last Hoya that live on my tiny shelf, and that is a Hoya wayetii. So I got this in November of 2020 in a plant swap with the Hoya Haven BST group. I briefly mentioned that they don't really do many swaps, so you can still like swap and buy, sell, trade there, but they used to do like a whole swap event with the whole group, and it through Elster, and you would sign up and you would just get randomly matched with somebody, and you had to send at least 2 cuttings. That was the rule, 2 cuttings. At least that's what the rule when I was participating. They aren't really doing that, which is a bummer. I understand that it's a lot to probably run that. I've never had to, so I don't really know, but I can imagine it's a lot to run, so I understand. But it is a bummer because it was a really great way to build up my collection, and that's how I got a lot of my Hoyas, is through trading and swaps, so I miss it. But anyway, I did get this Hoya from one of those trades, and I think I acquired another one along the way because this is just like too big to come from the cutting that I received. Like, I don't believe that I grew it this big. I have had to have added another piece in there. I just know myself. So there's that. It lives in leca, like most of my Hoyas do, and I have it in this frozen cup because I do like to see when this one is thirsty. And I went to go see Frozen the play on Broadway, and I got this cup there, so it's also a fun reminder on that. Some of the leaves are yellowing off a little bit, but I'm not really too worried. It does have mealies, and I think that's why, because a lot of my plants, like I've been saying, have mealies, but despite that, it still is growing. We have new growth points up there, so I can't like tilt it too much because I don't want to spill the leca everywhere. But yeah, like right there is a new growth point, over here too. And this is the lovely Hoya to have. The leaves are very simple, but it's the outer margin that just gets lovely sun stressing, like dark, and or I don't know if it always looks like that. Maybe it does. It just gets a lot of light, so I assumed it's sun stressing on the outer margins of the leaves, but it could just be how that is. I'm actually really not sure, but you can see that right there, and it's really cool. It's really cool. I love it. Next up are all the Hoyas on the plant shelf right behind me, starting on the top shelf with my Hoya Memoria / Gracilis. I think it was formerly Gracilis and is now Memoria, but I could be mistaken on that. I did purchase this plant from Gabriella Plants in December of 2020, and it does have mealies. I think I should just say that mostly all my plants have mealies, but again, many of them are still growing despite having mealies. Like you can see these two shoots right here that have a whole bunch of new growth. There is this down here that has new growth starting. There's also some under, oh maybe under right there. I'm not sure if it's getting that. And yeah, it's just growing really well. It does have a little bit of yellowing, but that's probably due to my lack of watering / the mealybug problem, because they do that. But I love this little splashing of this plant. I love how the new leaves come in so dark and like reddish. It's really, yeah, look at that tiny plant. It's so dark and it's so red. It's really cool. And yes, it's just an awesome, easy growing Hoya to have. And I mean, that's saying something for me because it's in soil, and usually I put Hoyas in leca because I cannot keep up with their watering. This one, while is got a little bit of damage from my neglect, is still doing beautifully in soil, which is great for me. Next, I have another imported plant that I purchased in August of 2020, and I also have a video of it on my channel. This is a Hoya, I cannot pronounce it, griffithii, something like that. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Silver. It's doing okay. I could probably put it in leca and it would do a little bit better. It is in soil. But the leaf shape is really cool. It has grown a little bit. I love the pot that it's in. But yeah, it's just not growing like a lot. It's not growing very fast. But again, that's entirely my fault due to my neglect. But the growth that it does have, again, is very cool. I love how long the leaves are. I love the splashing on it. It is a lovely Hoya. I just wish it would grow a little bit better, a little bit faster. But again, that's entirely all on me. Next is this Hoya Kerrii here that I received in a plant swap from November of 2020 from the Hoya Haven BST group. It came in with my Hoya wayetii, which I showed a little bit back. And this one is doing okay. I love this leaf. It's getting a little old looking, but I think this leaf looks really cool. It has grown a tiny bit. It does have, like, I put it on a trellis hoping it would grow more because it does have this vine stem thingy that it shot out. But, like, it has done nothing. I'm considering cutting it. So it is on a metal trellis here, and I do have this plant in leca, so I'm not sure if that's doing anything or like negatively affecting maybe the growth of this plant, because it's not looking the healthiest. If you see, like, it's looking a little yellowed. That could be due to my underwatering, because even though I have this one in leca and I have it in water, this one is so thirsty. I could fill the water like up really high, because at this point these are all water roots, so they won't rot. I could fill the water up pretty high, and I still have to refill it every couple of days. It's just a really thirsty plant. That's probably also why it's not growing like super fast for me, because I don't give it enough water. But nonetheless, it's really cool, and it's really cool to own, because by me, a lot of the ones that you see of Hoya kerrii are just that single leaf, and if that single leaf doesn't have a node, although it can live, it will never grow into this. So getting this in a plant swap was super exciting when I unwrapped it. This is my Hoya Krinkle 8 in soil, which I purchased from Etsy in April of 2020 from a shop called California Plant Tropicals. And this Hoya is awesome. It is suffering from a little bit of neglect from underwatering, because this one is in soil. I struggle with Hoyas in soil still, and this one is no exception to that, but it still is growing beautifully despite my neglect here. It has this vine and this vine. I love how this looks trailing. I don't think I'll ever put this one on a trellis. It just looks so cute. I love how full it is on top. I'm hoping those yellow leaves don't all fall off and make it look kind of bald, but yeah, we'll see if it does. Again, it's my fault. Beautiful Hoya, super easy to take care of. I do have one in my kitchen on my kitchen island that lives in leca. That one also grows really well, however doesn't receive as much light, which is why I don't think it's growing as fast. I'd be curious to put them next to each other. I wonder if I have enough room on my plant shelves to maybe do that. Ooh, that might be a fun little experiment. We'll see. This is my Hoya rotundiflora, which I purchased from Etsy from Plant the Studio in March of 2021. Yes, and then I was also unboxed or featured in an April haul plant video. So this is, I love this Hoya. Its leaf shapes are so unique. They're so boxy and square. They're also like slightly fuzzy. I surprised myself in this one because, again, just like a lot of the Hoyas in my kitchen, this is the original medium that it was shipped to me in, which is a mixture of perlite and sphagnum moss. And yeah, I'm surprised by myself that I was able to water this enough that it didn't dry out. Now, it hasn't grown probably as fast as it could have because I don't water it as much. Ugh, sorry, I just see mealies on this one. I'm just irritated because it has mealies. But of course it has mealies because I have a mealybug problem. Anyway, it's still growing, which is great. I'm gonna have to go spray it down with alcohol to kill the mealybugs that I see. Moving on down to the next shelf, we'll start with my Hoya Sunrise here. I purchased this one from a local Facebook seller in July of 2020. And yeah, not looking great. It's in leca. I've tried it in soil, I've tried it in leca, I've tried it just water propping. It's just not a happy plant for me. I kind of am over it. Yeah, kind of over it. It has mealies again because it has a on and off again battle with mealies. I thought I could smush them out in leca, but that has not been the case. So yeah, Hoya Sunrise. Next is this beautiful Hoya Rosita that I purchased off of Instagram in April of 2022. It has beautiful darkening on the outer margins. The new growth is this beautiful reddish burgundy color that is adorable. There is even like the tiniest leaf right there. So cute. I love this plant a lot. Again, in the original medium that it was sent to me in, which is just pure sphagnum moss. I do shock myself sometimes that this hasn't dried out, but I think it is because it is so pretty that I'm like, I can't let this one die. And I love the name. So yeah, Hoya Rosita. The last plant on this shelf is my Hoya Mathilde. I purchased this one with my Hoya Numi that lives in the kitchen from Plants by Lynn in March of 2021. And this one is growing quite beautifully. It does get a little bit more attention than the Hoya Numi, and I don't know if the Mathilde is just naturally a better grower than the Hoya Numi, but it has grown a lot faster. It lives in a combination of leca and soil, so it arrived to me in soil and I kept it there, but it kind of kept getting knocked over, so I topped it off with leca to kind of give it a little bit more weight and stability. I semi-recently put it on this trellis and it is thankful. It's giving me new leaves and new growth. I'm actually gonna like twist this around the trellis. Oh, no, I just untrellised like all of it. It's falling off. Okay, I'll have to fix that. That's so cool. It's just like this one vine is sprouting in two here, and it has just like a psh of new growth like that. It's so cool. Yeah, I love this one so much. The leaves are adorably small. They're adorably round and have like a slight bit of veining and also splashing. And yeah, they're just so cute. Like, those leaves are just so adorable, are they not? Okay, alright, let me put this here and let me re-trellis this. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. That looks good, right? Oh, and then it lives in my things we don't say beer can. We're on the next shelf and starting off with my Hoya Shepherdii here. I cannot remember where I purchased this one from. I believe it's from a local seller, a local plant shop to me, and the earliest picture I could find of it was from March of 2021. So I have had it for a little while, and it is just a very, very easygoing, easy Hoya to grow. It's in soil for me. It gets quite a bit of neglect, watering wise, fertilizing wise, everything wise, and it's a beautiful grower. So I highly suggest getting this one. This one is also commonly known as the green bean Hoya because they just look like green beans. And this one's just so crazy. I kind of was thinking of maybe trellising it, but I cannot just, I want it to be all crazy and weird like this because I love it so much. This next one is sad. This one's my Hoya Nathalie, I think is how you pronounce it. I purchased this one from a local Facebook seller in November of 2021, and it was doing fine, up until like a couple of weeks ago, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, yeah, right before we were gonna do this video, and it just started to go downhill, so I unpotted it and stuck it in water hoping to rehydrate the roots because those roots are very, very dry. And there, this whole thing is just like a dry stem. And it's not doing great. I don't think it's gonna recover, which is sad, but it happens. This next one is my Hoya krohniana, purchased from a local plant shop, Grow Geneva, in March of 2022, and this one, just like the silver, is a wonderful grower. This one is in soil for me, and it's doing pretty well. I was thinking of putting it in leca like the silver that I have, but so far it's doing pretty fine in soil, so yay. But it has some beautiful leaves, not as much silver as the silver, but look at those gorgeous leaves. Look at the splashing on them. Another just adorable Hoya. I did purchase this one a little bit bigger, but it has grown a tiny bit. Like this is new growth. This was new growth. Down here has new growth with a mealybug on it. Let me just grab that. I can't play this game. Never mind. I can't play this game. I'll just go take this one and spray it off like I did with the rotundiflora. And what's the other one that I did it with? I don't know. I brought another one to do it, to spray off. Last Hoya on this third shelf here is another Hoya pubicalyx, although I know this is a different form of it because the new leaves come in very dark, and that does not happen on my other pubicalyx. The new leaves come in very green. Like, look at this leaf here. I love how dark it is. The new growth back here is dark. I love it. It's awesome. This one has mealies. No surprise to anyone. I purchased this one from the former Branch Gardens. The pot too. I purchased the pot from Branch Gardens as well in March of 2021. Oh, my cat, no! My cat is attacking this new growth here. That's not good. As I'm like teasing her with it. That's kind of funny. Because she's old and she usually does not do that. But she like full on attack. No, no. Dude. No. Please don't do that. That's not nice. But yes, this pubicalyx is a very quick grower, just like the green form that I have. It's like a crazy grower. This one is in soil, so I can't even imagine how much it would grow if I had it in leca, because just Hoyas in leca tend to grow faster for me. Oh, gross. Freaking mealybugs. Oh god, Black Cat, stop! Stop. I gotta put this one down now. She's gone too crazy for it. We are on to the final shelf of my plant shelf, starting with my Hoya pachyclada. So this one I did purchase off of Etsy from the New Plant Co. in November of 2021. So I purchased this in a bundle of 3 because I wanted the Hoya linearis that was in there. So it came with the Hoya linearis, the Hoya Carnosa rope, and this pachyclada here. And both the rope and this pachyclada are alive, and that Hoya linearis is not. The whole reason why I got it was for the Hoya linearis, and it died. So it is what it is. This one is not looking too great. It's pretty dry. I should really probably unpop this and just like stick it in water because I know it's dry. It needs hydration. But also with this one, I already had a pachyclada when I brought this in, and that one was growing really well. It was from a local plant shop that I purchased it from, and when this one came in, I decided to pot them together. And the beautiful big pachyclada from the local plant shop died, and now all I have is this, and this is quickly looking like it's gonna go out the door as well. But again, I'm trying my best, and these things do happen, so we'll see where this goes. I really do love this snake pot. I purchased this off of Etsy from, I can't remember, from an artist. I don't even know where they're from. I know they're domestic because I don't really want to risk pottery overseas, but other than that, I love it though. It's so cool. And then this is that Hoya Carnosa rope that came with the linearis and the pachyclada. Still very small because I have it in soil, and I don't really do well with ropes in soil, so it hasn't really grown. I probably should bring it to a plant swap, like stick it in water and bring it to a plant swap to get rid of it, because I don't need this. Like, I don't need it. I do love this pot. This is from Branch Gardens, and I wish they had it in black, but I mean, I'll take it in white. I love all the spikes on it. It's so cool. This is my Hoya Parasitica Splash. I purchased this one along with that Hoya Nathalie from a local Facebook seller in November of 2021. This one is only in perlite. I now have added some, if you can see, some leca on top to weigh it down, and it didn't do anything for the longest time because I had it only in perlite, which dries out quickly, so this plant wasn't really getting the water it needed. But I have gotten better with watering it. I should really switch out the medium on this. I should do like a whole big Hoya medium redo video or something, because a lot of my Hoyas are not in the best medium for me. I should really fix that. But anyway, I got better with watering it, and now it has this growth here, which is super exciting. This Hoya is just a cute shape, and I love the splashing, which is why I got it. Oh, and it's also it's the monster pot, which is hard to show with the leca, but yeah, you could like see the monster eyes and stuff. Okay, I confused myself. One of these is a globulosa, Hoya globulosa, and one is a Hoya cowdang, Hoya villosa cowdang, and I cannot remember for the life of me which is which. I want to say this one is the globulosa and this one is the cowdang, but I'm entirely not sure at all. I'm so sorry. I should have specified the pot because I get these ones confused all the time. Did I write it? Don't have a tag or a sticker or anything. Ugh, oops. Black cat, you're on my notes. My cat sat on my notes. How cat-like. I know both of these were opened and featured together in a plant video. It was like a planty box battle, which I think are really fun. So the globulosa I purchased from 3 Exotic Green, while the cowdang I purchased from Plant the Studio, both in October of 2022. So I'll just do close-up shots like of each individual at like, because I really can't remember. Here is this first one, beautiful, like dinosaurish leaves. The backing is fuzzy, which is why maybe this one is the cowdang. Oh gosh, I don't know. I do not know at all. Like the back, so cool. And it does have a nice little new growth point. So hopefully more leaves are on the way. And here is the other one. Again, like these leaves are so dinosauric, so prehistoric looking. And then the backs are fuzzy, which is really cool. This one also has a new growth up here, which is very exciting. Sorry, again, don't know the difference between the two. Last Hoya on that bottom shelf is my Hoya macrophylla. I purchased this one off of eBay in May of 2020. I thought I had purchased this one locally, but I found out I got it on eBay. Didn't think I did, but I did have to cut this one back. You can see where I cut it right there. It was just getting too unruly, and it did have mealybugs. Luckily, it does not seem to right now, yay. But this one is a lovely one to grow. The leaves have a very unique looking texture to them, at least amongst the Hoyas that I have. A lot of them are veiny like this, but this one just looks a little bit different, which is really cool. And yeah, it's a lovely one to have. It's in soil and it still grows really well for me, which is exciting. And it's on the bottom shelf. I kind of forget about it and I water it when I do remember it, and it seems to be happy. So yay for me. Okay, now moving on to the plants living under this southwestern window right here. And the first is my Hoya sigillatis. I think that's how you pronounce that. I purchased this one from a local Facebook seller in October of 2021. I happened to pick this one up with my Hoya Viola and Hoya Krohniana Black that are in my kitchen shelves. That's where they live, so these were all purchased together. This one really has not grown like at all or very much for me. And I know it's my fault. It's in soil. I should have really put it in leca, because it is a thirstier one and it does dry out quite a bit. So yeah, it's not like the fastest growing, and it does have a little bit of damage, but The patterning on the leaves, like the splashiness of it, as well as the shape, are really cool. It is a really pretty Hoya. So hopefully I can actually put this one in leca and hope that it can do better. This next Hoya here lives on the windowsill of this window, and that is my Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princess. I love how much variegation this princess has. Like, these leaves are almost all white down here, and I just think that it's so cool. I don't have another princess that looks like this. Unfortunately, this Hoya does have mealybugs, because of course it does. I was really hoping this one could escape them since it is kind of isolated on the windowsill, but it did not. I actually think I have to step up my game and do a neem oil bath on this one, because I have treated it with alcohol a couple of times and it has not worked. Like, I just see a leaf in here and it has mealybug galore. Like, gross. And yeah, unfortunately this plant is suffering from it, but luckily these bottom leaves here still look really healthy. It is still pushing out new growth, which is exciting. So it's not the end of the world. Like I said, I would rather deal with mealybugs than any other pest, so whatever. Oh, and this one does live in leca in a vessel that I thrifted. But look how gorgeous it is. It is so pretty. I love this plant so much. It is so pretty. This next Hoya here is a Hoya griffithii. I think that's how you say it. This one is just a Hoya griffithii. I have another of the same variety, but that one is a silver, and they do look a little bit different. This one lives in leca in an old candle holder. There was new growth. There is still new growth there, but I swear there was a leaf there. Pretty sure my cat ate it, so yeah, that tends to happen. There's still like a tiny leaf, so yeah, he definitely knocked off something. There is like, I can see something was knocked off. It's fine. It's fine, Juby. But I love how long these leaves are. They're like so cool. They're so long. And I thought I got this one in a swap, but I could not find the evidence of that. I have no idea where I got this one, but I have it now. And it has put out new growth. Like, this leaf here is new growth, as well as this leaf. I can tell like this is the newest leaf because it's not hardened off yet. And then hopefully, yes, this turns into something. My cat doesn't eat it. Hopefully it turns into more. Now shifting to the plants that live on the windowsill of my western windows. The first one being this Hoya Burtoniae, one of those. I purchased this from the website of Plant the Studio, because sometimes I purchase from the website, sometimes I have purchased from their Etsy. I think it's just kind of what is advertised to me and what I go on at the time when I find them. So I bought it from the website of Plant the Studio in March of 2021. It was purchased with my Hoya Finlandsonii that lives in the kitchen, I believe. And this one just has beautiful sun stressing on the leaves. I love it so much how easily it sun stresses, and then, so that word, sun stresses. And then this one is also just a really nice grower. It lives in leca in this old plant candle here. Used to be a lilac candle. I put it on this trellis and it just continues to do well. It's a beautiful grower with beautiful coloration. No complaints here. The Hoya that lives next to that one is another Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princess, and this one is another unknown origin story. I have no idea where I got this from, but the earliest pic that I could find was from March of 2021. This Hoya also, well, not as much as the other princess in leca that I have on a windowsill. Okay, I thought this one had mealies too. It's just crap from the soil. like the one on the windowsill right there, it has a lot of variegation in its leaves. No, this one does have mealies. Oh gosh. This one has a lot of inner variegation that is just so stunning on this Hoya. It even has this all white leaf right here. I know it's not going to stay forever, but it has stayed for a while, and it's just very beautiful. It's in this cute cat planter that I found walking around Chicago in a shop with my husband. I love this little cat planter. I'm just looking at all the mealies on here and like trying to pick them off, which is not great. But it's filled out this trellis wonderfully. It's growing still. So a great Hoya to have. If you don't have a Hoya Carnosa Princess or a Queen even, you should. Because if you like Hoya and if you think this looks pretty, you should definitely get it because they're very easy growers. You can grow them, I would think, in any kind of medium that you prefer. Soil, leca, pond, perlite, and like, it's great. It's a great Hoya. Next I have this cutting here of another Memoria / Gracilis Hoya. I'm not sure where I got this. I think I got it from a plant swap, but I've just kept it water propping, and it has some pretty nice roots. I might just bring this one to a swap because I don't feel like putting it in my Memoria in soil because that one's already pretty full. And then I don't feel like experimenting and seeing how this one does in leca because I have enough doubles as it is. So this one is probably destined for a plant swap. And the last plant on my western windowsill is my Hoya Chelsea. Another unknown origin story. I have no idea where I got this from, but the earliest pic I found is from 2021, 2022, but no idea where I got it. I see a mealybug. This Hoya is in leca and it is growing so well. This Hoya, actually, I had to put it on a trellis. I just had to because it kept growing into my windowsill. I have old windows, and so there are cracks in the framing of them. And it found its way like into one of those cracks, and like it grew into my window and then like out of my window. And when I went to water it, I broke it and I felt so bad. But I'm like, why did you grow that way? So now I put it on a trellis, and it really hasn't grown too much since I put it on this trellis. But yeah, it's still a very pretty Hoya. I love this leaf here. It's just like almost entirely a cup. If you can see it from the side, it's like a cup. I think that's so entertaining. That's my favorite leaf. Hoya Chelsea. The very last the very last Hoya that I have in my living room is this Hoya New Guinea Ghost. I purchased this from Plant the Studio in January of 2023, so it is only a couple months old. When I got this plant, I thought it was very sick because I waited so long to actually unbox it, and I thought it dried out too much, but that's just kind of how it looks. Like, to me, this plant always looks sick. Just looks sick. Like, that leaf is kind of cool, but yeah. I thought I would like this plant more, to be honest, because it does have that like silvery hue to it. And while that is cool looking, again, like, to me, this plant never looks healthy, so I always think I'm failing at it, but it's a very thirsty Hoya, I've found. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this goes. It's not what I was expecting when I purchased it, but, you know, whatever. We are now in my dining room, which is the last room of my house that has Hoyas. And first, we're going to start off with a pubicalyx cutting that lives in the, oh, yeah, I can point. And that one right there. It is this cutting up here. I hope you can see that. And I'm not going to take it down because I don't like to move that one. It has glass and I don't want to break anything. So one. And then I also have a cutting of my Hoya Chelsea, living in an alcohol bottle, like so. It does have some new growth right there, which is very exciting, and the tiniest bit of roots. So it's doing all right. It's doing okay. These next Hoyas are also cuttings, and they live on the windowsill of my western windows in here. The first being a Hoya krohniana cutting. This was taken from my plant that I got from Grow Geneva, and it has grown so well. I love the roots on this one. I know it should be potted up, but I just love seeing how this one looks. And then truthfully, I did this cutting for the purpose of bringing 2 plant swaps, so I'm going to bring it to a plant swap. I shouldn't keep it for myself, even though I am very tempted to, like, look at that. It is beautiful. Then I have this Australis Lisa in here. You can kind of see the Lisa in there. I do not have luck with this plant. This is the most successful plant ever. I picked it up from Grow Geneva, if I didn't say already, and I immediately, almost immediately I want to say, potted it up in water here, and that's how it's lived, and it's giving me new growth, so that is super exciting. Yes, look at that littlest leaf in there, so cute. Oh, and it's giving me more new growth. Sweet. So yeah, this is, I'm just going to keep it like this for now. I will be fertilizing it. I should change out the water. The water, it's kind of gross. But this is how it's living, because I have tried it in leca too. Soil, leca, unsuccessful. Plain water, doing good so far. So we're going to keep it in the water. This next one for right now lives on top of the cat condo that we have because it has mealybugs. Like a lot of them, I'm actually kind of convinced that this one, because it was a lot bigger, like I took cuttings from it, it was a lot longer and a lot more unruly, spread mealybugs to the other plants because of how many like tendrils and offshoots it had. But whatever, we're dealing with it. I'm dealing with it. I'm treating the plants. It's gonna be fine. But look at how huge this Hoya Jade is. It's huge. I got this at the farmer's market in the summer of 2022, so last summer. And it's, yeah, it's freaking huge, and it is so beautiful, and I could not resist when I saw it. And I have room for it. I have a spot for it, not currently there since it has mealybugs, but you know, it has a place in my house, so I decided to buy it. No regrets, even though it has mealybugs. We're on to the very last Hoya that I own, and that is my Hoya did I say that word? My Hoya australis here. It is currently being isolated and treated for mealybugs. I'm pretty sure it is done with it and can be repotted and put into Gen Pop. I do need, look at those roots. I do need to fill up the water on this one, but look at those roots. Beautiful roots. I am not sure where I bought this, how I got it. Probably in 2021. That's when I did a lot of my Hoya collecting, and I probably got it locally from a local shop because these are pretty popular in my area, and they were also a while ago in 2021, so probably locally. But a little weird. I don't know if I want to like chop here and like chop here just to make it a little more uniform. I don't know. I'll have to see. But I love this Hoya australis. It's another very easy grower. It seems like a very simple Hoya, but when you like look up close, you can just see its little characteristics and how subtle those are, with like a little bit of subtle veining. Some leaves have like a little bit of splash, not much, and like the new leaves are so shiny. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me throughout this whole Hoya collection video. It is a long one, so thank you for sticking around. I hope you all have a great day. I hope you all love Hoyas. I really should count how many I have because I don't know. But anyway, have a great one. Cheers.